if any of you engineeringly minded people are actually interested, you don't have to be, it's not a problem. My friend Graham here, but I'm waiting for him. Hello Graham.
Look, no hands.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was drunk, wasn't he? I thought he was. That's not good, is it? So if you'd like to look on the back of his model
I know it's going to get noisy, so I want to be as close to it as possible. Have my ears ringing for a couple of days.
I actually do boiler repairs for a living.
I've been to a lot of steam rallies now, but I want to do more of them.
For anybody that's interested in steam engines and steam boilers.
I think the biggest one I've been to is Netley Marsh, but
to look at some really rotten pieces
so far.
of old boiler.
But
As Graham drives around here,
next year I want to go all the way to Welling.
Engine is a really rotten old piece of a boiler. You can see where the water
I want to do it.
eroded away.
But now I want to do Driftfield, I want to do Whitby, I want to do a couple up more.
For my job that I do every day. Small steam engine.
No, I'll be in the next 3 years, I think.
With a big piece of riveted metal on the back of it. If any of you would like to stop it,
Even if it means doing an engine rebuild on my car, do it.
It shows the kind of things we have to do for a living
It's
every
only a
day.
little Corsa, but a 1.2 is adequate enough to get me to Southampton and back again quite alright, and do Santa Pod. So, well, not actually take part, but gets me to it so I can watch. But no, not yet.
Anybody that's interested, the rough is on the back of the
Not really aiming to, but if something comes my way, I wouldn't pass it up.
So whenever you come to a place like this, keep your eyes open just in case.
Yeah, just saying. If I had the money, I'd just look out for something and thought, that'd be interesting. Have that. But then I'm into. I'm into cars that are high powered, it's just I never had the job to actually buy them, so. Because I did say to a mate of mine, I was like, well, there's a hot version of the car I got, and he said, what? And it's like, Porsche VXR. Okay, trying to brake horsepower going through the front wheels. Yeah, turbocharged and all that. Although Sinet built one, it ended up on YouTube, Living Life Loud, I think was the channel. 504 brake horsepower out of a 1.6 turbo. I don't know what it goes for, but it certainly left a load of cars behind at 80 miles an hour. It's left them behind. They looked like it was standing, they were just gone. But they didn't show the speedo because, well, that incriminates you. Well, to show the speedo, you can incriminate yourself. It's evident. So some people show speedo, but yeah, you just got yourself in trouble. If they can use that and I should know about speeding because that's what I've done for a couple of times before. I would, but well, I do now because I'm not in a hurry. If I've got to get somewhere, I just think, well, I've got to stop off anyway. If it takes 2 hours to do something, I'll just stop off. Take my time. Well, to be honest with you, it's like when I went up to Santa Pod, I stopped twice. So classic lane services, and then I stopped off at St Albans. I want to do St Albans again, so I'll stop off for dinner on the way up. Easy enough.
Right, what we're going to do, we're going to ask all these wonderful
I don't want to push myself. I don't want to push myself anymore. Because when you start pushing yourself, you start getting into, well, energy drinks or
that. I mean, you wouldn't expect that in 130 years' time that all of your cars will be in the steam engine arena blowing their horns.
He's going bananas, look at that! Haha, got his attention! I met the guy that was driving
Okay,
it,
so anybody who would like to stay in the arena,
not knows me, but kind of,
about steam engines can, and anybody
seen him
that's
around
going to want to
before, like.
explore the world to make
but that's
their way
the
out,
Shepherd named
come along to
Sentinel.
love refreshment and a little bit of
Yeah.
shade on this very hot day.
Well, the only reason I know about it is because, well,
I expect most of you know what a slow race is by now. You've
I
probably
wouldn't
all
say it's
been to your
entirely
local
local brewery,
so
but
what I'm asking, the
in
ones who
Kent,
want to leave can leave first,
that's their main
and the ones
brewery.
who want to stay, they make their way to the opposite end of the arena.
It's like this
to the
way,
poultry
it's
box,
one in
and they can
Lewis.
line up. We can perform the slow
But then
race
you got,
across the arena in
but then
about
again,
5
the
minutes.
first away Shepherd meanwise, I think was the pub in Brighton called the Regency. So they got pubs in Brighton. Got ones in London. Like Harvey's have got ones in London, so they're not that local. But then I've been to the brewery in Harvey's. They did a dance off there, a load of Morris dancers, so I went there. They had a bar opener, so I thought, right, pint. That's the rule. That's the rule. If you find a place that's open, fancy saying, just have it. Now I think I saw Rob Roy at the World of Kent last week. Yeah, the Sentinel, I think I saw him last week as well. But then again, I think he's done Felsham Transport Festival, he's outside the brewery at Court Street. I think I've seen him at Curran Park. I think there's a couple of other places I've probably seen him before as well. I know he's been to, I know that one's been to Curran Park. I remember the first time I saw it was at Curran Park a couple of years ago. That was that year I went to Curran Park and then I thought, right, I'm going to stay in Chichester tonight. Went to an open mic night in a pub somewhere, just randomly.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how many people actually want to stay in the blistering heat to drive a steam engine in some foolish games. Not that that's a problem, it'll be amazing if anybody does. I can see rather a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
had that at
leaving.
Curran Park, it was too hot for them.
Oh, they've got a good average today,
Curran Park, a bit too hot for them. But some of them say, Sentinel, he was going absolute bananas around the Bleak arena. Those things can shit.
It's like organised
For a steam
chaos.
engine, they're pretty fast.
Steam engine,
In fact, I think there was a law that said that if you had solid wheels, you could only do 12. If you had pneumatic tyres, you could 20 mile an hour. It's actually a law, I think.
like I said, they're making their way to the opposite side of the arena. They're backing up to the fence. What we do
Oh, come on, do the slow race. That's a good one, slow race. Yeah, slow race is a good one because they can get up to all sorts of things.
and these steam engines, despite
Because the rule is,
it's
whoever's last wins it. But your flywheel has to keep moving.
They have lots of different ways of
So if it stops, you disqualify.
They have the brakes on, they do all this kind of stuff to try and aid the machine in going slower.
Sometimes it stops
Also,
doing
to stop
that.
your car, for anybody that drives, you know,
But yeah, they get up to all sorts of things with this. So I think, yeah, I've got to catch it.
So with that,
This is not saying that.
steam engine, part of the rules are you can't stall the steam engine on its way to the opposite
Yeah,
side of the arena. So it's the last one to the opposite side of the arena without stalling. Also, this game when I was a child, this was a very honourable game, and the old boys who
Yeah,
steam engines.
honourable,
very
yeah.
honourable, but,
I've never seen
as
it like
time
that.
progressed, it developed an interesting air. And a lot of the engine owners have worked out some sabotage they can do to their opponents. You'll notice on the back of a lot of these steam engines, like there's a great
Yeah,
wooden block
got
on
ya.
a chain. They don't have handbrakes, you put the block of wood under the back wheel to stop it rolling away. Well, in this game of not trying to stall, of great bit of sabotage was the opponent driver to jump off, put a block under his opponent's back wheel, which
Why are they not?
always disqualifies them, or they have to rev up and bounce over the top of it, which makes them in the lead, which is actually losing. So we're just shuffling the last engine in over here. This is Polly. Old Jack up there doing a great job. They've got all the dust on her. Jack, you're going to have to clean her. He's not paying attention.
Can you see it? Can you see it? I'm just leaning on the post at the moment because I'm a bit knackered.
Look at the turns on that steering wheel, ladies and gentlemen. Jack, how are we doing? How many turns left locked to lock? 50? Yeah, there's about 50 turns locked to lock. So in your car, what is there? 4, maybe 3? 50 turns.
About 3.
And when you look at how it works,
3 on the car.
again, practically minded people of you, it runs on this chain.
Like that.
There's just a chain on
That's
either side of the
power
roll
assisted.
here. And they've got a gearbox
Don't really want
on this
power
side of the
assisted,
engine,
but
which
when
has a
you're
worm and a
manoeuvring in
wheel
a
gear
dangerous
in it.
car park,
That's what moves this front end.
you do
I
need
can
it.
tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that when I restored this engine, we've got a 3-ton forklift truck and it would not pick up the front of this engine. So the front of this engine weighs more than 3 tons. So anything poor old Jack up there is doing it by hand, he's moving 3 to 3.5 tons of equipment.
I do remember the Sentinel being involved in the slow race at Curran Park, but it lost it badly. Too fast. Whee, like that.
You didn't get the shift to the ball there.
Probably not. See it going
They're
around
all just lining up. So what we're going to do is see if anybody's
like
paying
that. It's
attention.
just, when you're doing donuts,
When you are
mate,
ready, give us a whistle.
I literally turn around and it's like, when you're doing donuts, that's how fast he's going.
Yeah, suddenly they're all ready. You're going to have to watch out for some of these holes in the middle of the arena, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it. Anyone want to think a tank's been through here?
It has.
Okay, what
It
we're going
has.
to do, so we all know the rules. The last one's the opposite side of the arena without stalling, without doing too much sabotage. There's a little bit allowed, but we also have to make points that it can be a little dangerous. So people doing the sabotage, just pay attention, because we just want to remind you that everybody needs to have a good time and nobody wants to have any trouble. So that's wonderful, just be vigilant. So I'm going to count to 3 and I'm going to wave my flag, and it's the last one to the opposite side of the arena. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, off we go! Who's away first? No. Oh, we've just got Polly
Rob Roy.
away first here over on the far right hand side of the arena.
Yeah, Rob Roy was away first.
Rob Roy, the beautiful favourite passenger. Now you'll see their flywheels are going majestically slow, and they're all trying to do the best they can to move the engine going better. Over here on this side, we've got 2 model Focals. You can see their tiny little flywheels at the top there. They're progressively
Yeah, Avon and Porter on the far right is looking good so far.
You can see here with Lionheart and Quince up there, they've got the wooden block under. Quince is just busy knocking it into the floor. Not a problem for a 12-ton traction engine. Lionheart's doing a great job with Ken up there driving, although there was a tiny bit of priming. There's some water coming out of the top of the cylinders, out the chimney. And the other guys are all making their way majestically
Yeah,
across.
Saturn and Invicta,
You might think
not
that
doing
the
a lot.
outside engines are a winner.
so that's how you win it.
But actually, because the components are half the size,
Miniature barrel,
they're
well,
actually half the weight.
he's
So
going
actually
too
what
fast.
you travel, it's twice
Naughty
the
boy.
speed. Anything heavy moves slowly, anything light moves fast. So driving one of the half-size engines is actually more difficult than driving a full-size steam engine. Mark Selby with a Triumph Trophy motorcycle.
Acting a bit jerky.
Mark
There's the Evelyn Porter.
Triumph Trophy motorcycle. And we're doing the presentation.
They are slowing right down here.
There we go, and now back to the race. As dynamic as it may or may not be. We've got everything going on here. There's blocks of wood being put under. There's steamrollers roaring around. Wes is doing a sterling job on the barrel prints over here. We've already got 1 or 2 that have made it to the other side of the arena.
Lionheart
So they are
is last at the
actually
moment, which is good.
Who's left in the race? Well, Lionheart's one of the last ones, so he's actually in the lead. Poor old Kev's been playing.
No, don't overtake, come on, do not overtake, no.
Look at him go. He's still doing a sterling job though, that flywheel's never stopped. He still hasn't stopped. Come on, Kev. Keep it going, keep it going. He's doing a great job. Look at that.
He's kept it going all right. Come on, Lionheart.
Most of
Come
the
last.
have actually lost. The two that are still actually in the race is Prince
No,
and
no, no,
Lionheart.
he's...
Oh, well, then Prince is now going backwards. Why are
Oh,
we
that's
going backwards?
cheating.
What a shame. Oh,
That is
man.
cheating.
Yeah.
There's always sign cheating. Jesus.
Like I was saying earlier, ladies and gentlemen, when I was about 18, this race had honour. And today, just like it does every year
It's
now,
been
that
a
I'm
long
the race
time
now, I
since there's
absolutely
been
have no
honour.
idea what's going on.
It's been a long time, mate.
Lionheart's been blocked. Yes, now I think they've stopped as well.
Nah, the flywheel
Over here was
stopped.
the
He's
last
out.
one in.
He's out. Come on. Why is he going backwards?
Well, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's all gone
That's
wrong.
just silly.
I think we should
Silly.
put it to a public vote. Who, ladies and gentlemen, do we think should win? What do we reckon? Over this end? Anyone? Or is it over this end? What do we think? What do we think? It probably goes down to who has the best smile.
Or can buy us all a pint. Or buy us all a pint.
Well, I think it's all down to me who actually picks who wins. So seeing as how I own Polly over here, I'm going to award Polly the winner engine. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Polly. Not because she won, just because I own her. Well done, Jack. Done a great job, Polly and team up here. Well, if you guys are allowed to cheat, so am I. I've been doing this longer than you,
I've never
Wes.
actually seen any honour in this at all. In all the years I've actually been videoing this stuff.
To winning, there is no honour.
There ain't, no.
Wes is one of our local characters. He's always got something very entertaining to say, and he's always a great crowd pleaser. He normally helps out with the Horsham Traction Company.
Helen
They have about 10 or
Blinking,
15 steam
Mars,
engines in the
Blinking
fleet.
Anywheres.
He's heavily involved
They
with.
got
He does a great
steam
job.
games.
They rode their steam engines all over the place.
I've never seen
So what we're doing now, we're
They
just
just
setting out a slalom race.
shenanigans,
We're going to have a little shuffle around with the
skullduggery.
engines, and our next event is a slalom.
Nothing's
what we
gonna
do,
get
we
in the
park,
way of them
two
winning,
steam
so-
engines at one end of the arena.
no.
And the aim of the game
Not
is
a
to
sausage
do a
on that
slalom
one.
out and around the first cone, in and around the second cone, out and around the third cone. Normally, if we have more space, we do a U-turn, but because we don't, what we do, we just come to a stop and do a straight run in reverse back to where you started from. And the aim of the game is the first one back to where they
No, the one
started
star I did
is
miss
the winner.
out on was Good
So,
Great
engine
Dorset
owners, we'd
Steam
like to have a
Fair.
little shuffle
I'd love to have
around.
gone to
We'll
it.
set up for the slalom race.
I-
Thank you very much.
Me and a mate were going to go to it, but then they cancelled it. And then it's been cancelled ever since, and I'm annoying. Me and a mate were going to take time off, we're going to hire a caravan, something like that, just go down. And just spend the whole week down there.
So you might think to yourself a slalom race is quite easy, and that's because you're thinking about doing it in your modern car, or a motorbike, or something simple, push bike, or even your car. But doing it with a 10 or 15 ton traction engine or steamroller is not quite so easy. Like I was saying earlier about poor old Jack over here steering Polly with a 3.5 ton front end by hand. There's no hydraulics, there's no electric assist, there is nothing, purely your own muscle and strength. And unlike the car having 3 turns lock to lock, most steam engines have about 50 turns of steering lock to lock. And they've got to go in and around these cones in a very fast manner. So what you'll notice, especially on a hot day like this, the poor old steersmen, they really have a workout. Honestly, if anybody deserves a pint of the beer 10 after that, it is definitely the steersmen after this race. You'll see it on their faces. There's half glee and half distress.
Yeah, I actually want to go to beer tent again.
Right, so I think we're doing the half-size Falcons first. So this race is always a good comparison between engine manufacturers. It's always funny when you get something like a steamroller and a road locomotive in competition with each other, because one can't often be competed against the other one, having slow speeds or fast speeds, having springs or no springs, high gearing, low gearing, all that kind of thing. But having two half-size motors is the fairest competition you could ever have. So this whole race, without any pressure, is just completely down to the driver's skill. Who's the most skilled? We've got female skill over here. Give us a wave, Melanie. Yay, there she is. And over here we've got young budding, enthusiasm, young enthusiasm, which youth over experience often wins, or sometimes it almost is wrong. Not to put you off or anything. So when you guys are ready, give us a whistle and I'll wave you in. Oh, they're ready and a thumbs up. Okay, after 3. So in and around the first cone, out and around the second cone, up to the last one. To be honest, the models can do a U-turn if you really want to, because there's probably enough room for that. If you don't, you can reverse. Entirely up to you. After 3, first one back. 1, 2, 3, off we go! So they're both away at the same time, which just goes to show what a competitive advancement they have between each other. In and around the first cone with the green phone. Melanie coming up around the last one. They are doing the U-turn, which is actually spectacular. You can't do that. And now it's neck and neck back into the final straight for the last race. Oh no! What's happened? We've run out of steam? Oh my goodness, what a load of rubbish engine driving that is. So we're going to award Melanie, the female driver, the winner. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Melanie. Like I said, all down to skill. It's experience over enthusiasm, isn't it?
I have to correct our esteemed commentator here, because he said these little engines are half the size and half the weight. Actually, they are half the size to 1/8 the mass or weight. If you want a lesson in mathematics, then come and see me later. But basically, everything that's on the full-size engine on the 6-inch scale model is half the size. So the only things you cannot scale down, of course, are coal, steam and water. And so these little engines still run at full pressure, which in the case of these two Hodens is up to 180 pounds per square inch. And that's why she's about to make an awful lot of noise, because she's reached that pressure.
Thank you very much, Melanie. That's very good. I never went to school, so that's the technical department, that is. I'm just going to make it a fool of myself. Like Melanie was saying, it's very hard to scale down nature. You can scale down parts, you can scale down thicknesses of material, you can scale down castings and wheels and flywheels and pistons. But, like the full-size engines, these engines run on the full steam, which is, as you said, 225 psi. They also, the rot, rust, all that kind of thing, the size of the hole, how much the water boils, is exactly the same as a full-size engine. So although they are a scale model, you can't scale down nature. What we're going to do now, we're going to do the same kind of race with the full-size engines. So who's up first? What have we got first? We've got 2 steamrollers first. We've got Polly, by the looks of it, and Lionheart. So dual engine, of course, the manufacturers, and that's the nearest comparison between the 2 different engines. The 2 boats are very similar, so you're down to skill, exactly the same here. So no pressure check, no pressure, again, only all down to skill. The 2 engines will perform exactly the same as the other one. In and around the first cone, out and around the second cone, up to the third cone and around it, but don't bother with the U-turn. The first one is reverse back to your start. Are you ready? Give us a whistle if you are ready. Ollie's ready. Oh, we just had a driver change over here. Ben, we've got Ben driving Lionheart there. Ben, are you a faster driver than Ben? Apparently Ben's not a nerd yet, so he's going to be on great job. Right, give us a whistle when you're ready. Holly's ready. Is Lionheart ready? Oh, they are. So after 3, 1, 2, 3, off we go! Oh, they're both running exactly at the same time. Look at them go. These machines were just sitting for long ago and now they're doing a race. Lionheart has just got a load of white steam out the top of the chimney, for which one of
cone's going. That cone is getting destroyed.
Now the reverse are ready for the final trip back to where it belongs. Still climbing though, Glenn's doing a sterling job. He's manoeuvring past that climbing there, no trouble at all. Probably having a little bit of steering issues. I think this is the slowest I've ever seen the slalom race with totally under control. Oh, and just hit the cone, but that's no problem, it's close, it's good enough. They're about halfway home now. What he's just doing the reverse manoeuvre is slowly catching that line up. Come on Jack, let her have it. So he's just about to go around the second cone, but coming into the winning position over here, we've got Lionheart with Ben driving and Kev steering. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Lionheart. Well done! Give us a round of applause, I can't hear that. Get down. Thank you very much. Valiant effort from Connie over here. Like I was saying earlier, the moving of 3.5 tons of front engine by pure muscle is really difficult. You can start to see it show in the top level of the face. We're just going to line them up and they're going to perform the same race.